So we're playing against Akali. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Sigil's good. We don't need, if you're gonna bring in Sprite Burst, I would lead Forgotten Monument because you don't wanna play Sprite Burst while you're on your Monument game. Like going second, you play Sprite Burst, you can't score to 2 because you're on your own Monument. But I don't think we really want Monument against Akali. It's not, or Sprite Burst. It's not that great. They can beat over it pretty easily. Okay, this is the best one. So we're
That's why I started with Sprite Burst, because it was a best of one, and I knew that I could use the Sprite Burst with the sigil rather than worrying about the monument.
Okay.
So this is like a game 2, so to speak.
Sure.
In terms of like post sideboard.
I would probably keep the Flourish against Akali.
Okay.
It's kind of hard because Akali lists are so kind of scattered right now. Me personally, my list is on like 3 Crab, 3 Poro, and then the Mournfuls. I know some lists are picking up like the Marais, but they have a lot of targets for the Flourishes, especially the Crab because they can't pump the Crab out of range. So I think this is good. It's not good against Green Akali. Green Akali is kind of just a card that we just have to let do its thing.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, like we can't really do anything against Green Akali. We can try and like echo into it, but most of the time Green Akali is just gonna, do its thing. And they should play into the Green Akali route. If they know what we're trying to do. So fast forward to here. This is a solid mulligan. I typically like to mull both of these cards. Now you have double echo, so we kind of need to keep the second one. We don't have any 4-mana draw spells, which is what we really want to see, but we do have our Progress Day worst case scenario. We are going first, which is a little worse for the Progress Day because we can't just slam it on turn 3 with unless we see a Deadly Flourish, right? Because if we had Deadly Flourish and we can Deadly Flourish something on turn 2, we can Progress Day on turn 3 with the gold.
Mm-hmm.
But this hand's fine. We'll see what we hit off this. We draw Consult and we draw Conduit, which this is really good. Play draw, and then he plays Portal Pass, and he should play Green Akali here. Pitch Silicon, play Green Akali. Okay. So here we're on our 4-mana turn. Or 6-mana turn, I'm sorry. He's just gonna be on even numbers here, or odd numbers here, so we don't really care to kill this Portal right now, especially because we can't kill something in base, so like this curtain call is just not as good as it could be. So I really like playing this Energy Conduit because we can get this online, and then next we can play Energy Conduit plus a probably this curtain, or we can probably play curtain call anyway.
I think what I did is I Energy Conduited, and then I tried to curtain call the Poro, and then he defied it.
Okay.
I guess I could have played Jhin as well, knowing that the Poro doesn't have to live, or doesn't have to die. I mean, but
yeah. So if he defies this, it's not the worst thing in the world because he's going down runes. Oh, he on guards it.
Or on guard, yeah.
So that was still fine. Next turn, since we don't have a 4-mana spells to play right now, so I would actually probably deramp to play the seal, and then we can establish this Jhin. The reason we want to do that is because normally you want to stay at 8, which would be 8 anyway because of this conduit. But normally, like, ignore this conduit for a second. We want to stay at 8 so we can double spell next turn. But we don't have a double spell to play next turn unless we rip consult or downstage off the top into another one, which is just kind of unlikely. So I think establishing this Jhin is perfectly fine, especially because we can start getting cards out of his hand with this Akali. And it establishes our seal because next turn we probably want to play Progress Day anyway. See, and in this exact he's gonna hide a card, never mind. So see, we don't hit the 4-mana spell, and now our turn is gonna be playing this seal and playing Progress Day, and that's all we can do. So we could have done that anyway, just if we played Jhin last turn, right? And then now we would have one more spell, or we would have one more Jhin on board. We could like threaten this spell. We probably don't want to threaten this spell, but we could play more. We probably would have kept this Time Warp on top anyway too, but we would just have the body on board is the only difference here.
Okay.
And then we also should have played the seal first. Before
Yeah,
it hits
seal
the Jhin.
first. Yep.
I would. That feels a little rough. We kind of want it with the way our hand is shaping out.
Okay.
But I think bottoming it is fine too. Because our next turn is going to be playing. He's going to go to 5, then he's going to go. We're going to go to turn, he's going to go to 7. So we have 2 more turns. So what I would probably do is play this progress say next turn, take a ramp, and then play this consult. And then he's going to go to 7, and then we'll have 1 more turn, and then we use that turn to set up our next gen, and then on the next turn, we have to try and win the game.
Okay.
Alternatively, we can also play a spell and then crash this echo into something and try and play off of that. But I think bottoming the seal is perfectly fine. I think keeping the seal is fine. Our deck does like having seals. Typically, you want 1 to 2. We don't really need the third one. Oh, we did keep it. Sorry, I thought we...
Yeah, I did end up keeping it, I think.
Okay.
Did it say I bottomed it? I don't know. Whatever.
So we kept seal, so we can play seal here, and then let me see what you do here. We should definitely seal for seal. We should also be 1 rune higher if we played the seal the turn before on the like we mentioned. So we'd be at 9 here. Which
I think what I ended up doing was I sprite burst into Thousand Tail Watcher.
Okay. That's probably.
I think my thought process was that he has all his runes up, so I figured he would have a lot of interaction. So I want to try and as you said, force those cards out.
Mm-hmm. So this is I don't really like this line.
Okay.
This is probably either a Zhonya's or an Emperor's Divide, so this Akali's never gonna die. And with him going to 7, presumably he's going to 7 next turn, we need to be able to set up a win for the following turn. And typically on the turns that you're trying to go for the win, you want to have your Jhin fully stacked. So our Jhin isn't going to be stacked here, whereas we could have left it stacked with some of the other options. And
so instead of the sprite burst, if we were to start the turn over, where do you think we would want to begin?
So we had access to here, let's rewind. So we were here. We have access to 9. If we play, we can consult, see what we draw. Go to and then we'll go to a full 12. We would have so consult, go down to 8, go back up to 9. We can either like double, we can hopefully draw another either 4-minute spell or 5-minute spell to play, and then we can play like double. We can progress day. What we can also do, let me exit this. We have 3 banish here. I think this turn would have been better when we talked about earlier about playing the seal on this turn. That would have actually had us to 9 here. And then on this turn, we can actually forego playing Jhin at all. And we can just play Progress Day and Consult. We can not activate the Jhin. We can try and draw into a Bryn here. And then if we hit Bryn here on the following turn, we can do double Promising Future. We only have 1 right here, but we're drawing 6 cards, so maybe we can see the second one. And then we can go Bryn here into double Promising Future, try and hit a Time Warp, and then we can try and establish a win con there.
Okay, and you said the reason to establish the Jhin on that previous turn was because you wanted to start forcing the Akali player to play cards out of their hand. Is that correct?
Well, so on this turn, I would have just slammed the Progress Day, honestly.
Okay.
But since we didn't, I would have just slammed Progress Day draw instead of trying to kill this portal, because killing this portal doesn't really do anything. He's gonna be on, because he's gonna be on odd points here, right? If he does, if this portal lives, he's gonna go to 2. He's gonna push this Akali more than likely, and he's gonna go to 3. Um, if we kill this portal, he's gonna push this Akali, go to 2. He's gonna play another unit, and then he's gonna hold here, and then he's gonna put. Actually, if you kill the portal, he doesn't have to take Sigil. He can just take Zon again. So we're opening up this Zon for him as well.
Mm, okay.
And then he would just take this on, play a guy in base, pass, and then next turn he holds the 3 and then pushes the 4. And then now he's on a 2-turn clock anyway. If he was at 0 here, or like if he didn't have a unit in base, this would be a good kill, because then now he can't he can't really go to an even number unless he accelerates.
Right.
But killing this just doesn't really do anything, and we want to accelerate our game plan.
So Akali is one of those 2, 4, 6, 8 kind of decks, and we're saying we want to keep Akali at odd numbers.
I think every deck into us is probably a 2-4-6-8 deck.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why, and normally we're trying to use our removal spells to counteract that, but decks like decks that can either protect their units with like Defy or pump spells like this, and what happened here, or decks like Rek'Sai where they just play too many units, we can't really keep them off of it, so we can forego trying to play the removal game, and we can just try and raise.
Okay, that makes sense.
So going back to this, where were we? Go back to this turn. Or no, this wasn't it. Is here. We played Sprite Burst. I'll speed up a little bit. Also, like playing Sprite Burst, and then playing this Watcher. Assuming this is either Zhonya's or Emperor's Divide, it could also be a Marai's, I guess. But if it's Zhonya's or Emperor's Divide, we're not gonna kill any of his units except for this Forerunner. And if we kill this Forerunner, it's just gonna make 2 guys anyway. So taking this combat actually doesn't help us that much.
I see. I see. Into what decks do you typically bring in Watcher if you have it in your sideboard at all?
Watcher was probably the most underwhelming card in the sideboard, honestly.
Okay.
I brought it in against Rek'Sai and any deck that would go wide. It is another haste threat. You can also hit a promising future if you're down to the point where you need to. So it's pretty nice there. But this was like the #1 card I could see cutting if we did cut a card in the board.
Okay.
We do have a lot of new options as far as gear hate goes with like Brittle. We have Rocket Barrage. We got access to Mel too if we want to explore that route. I
Prevent
would
counter
use,
spells.
yeah, for the counterspell decks, because against us, people should be boarding out removal. So when they board out removal, you can board in the Mel and it should be safe, in theory.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now they're not going to board out cards like Starcrossed, so if you're playing against purple, you do have to worry about that. But if you're playing against like, if you're playing a deck that plays Charm, like they really shouldn't be keeping Charm against us. It's not very good. So I think this push is probably fine. More than likely we can win this combat with him only having 4 cards in hand. But like what we talked about earlier, we don't really care to kill this Forerunner because now he's just going to
Right.
2 guys in base.
And he could also have Emperor's Divide, and then in which case, yeah, cool. We got him off the battlefield, but we didn't really, slow his board state down that much.
I mean, Emperor's Divide here is probably fine. The only downside is now he can push into us really easily here. He can also just ignore this battlefield because, like we said here, he's going to go to 6 anyway. Now this Watcher is going to push into here more than likely. Like we said, this is Zhonya's or Emperor's Divide. But we still do this, and then we can still set up a following turn pretty easily. This is one of the rare situations I would actually probably hide this consult also.
Oh, okay.
Because we push into here. This is on guard 3. Yeah, okay, it's Mara's. So him taking this trade here is actually probably really beneficial for us. So I like this. Now we can either play, since we didn't conquer the sigil, we don't have to recycle the rune. So I'd actually use the seal in this rune anyway, because we're gonna go back up to 12 anyway. So going back down to 10 doesn't.
Right, exactly.
I would hide this consult here and play this Jhin. And the reason we're hiding this consult is because we already have like combo pieces in our hand. Our Jhin's stacked at 0 right now because we already used it. So we don't really need this next turn, and then next turn we're probably gonna look for a future play. Akali game 1, like we don't have gutter established, so we're not really scared of things that can flip off of this future. If you're playing a deck like Rengar and they have Bryn here, like Bryn here's the #1 card you don't want to see off a
Right,
future.
because then you get Bryn here instead of
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah, and your turn just kind of ends, but Akali doesn't really have that scary of things to play, so we can just hard send the future without having to play Bryn here, and that allows us to not have to play a stack. That allows us to skip the requirement of having Jhin fully stacked before we play the future.
Interesting. Okay.
We do play Jhin. I miss what we scryed. We scryed a Bryn here. Funny enough.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely kept that.
yeah, this is a situation where you can bottom it. Um, on on the flip side, we already have one warp in hand. There is merit to keeping it strictly because it's not a warp and we need to hit a warp off of these futures. So there is that to think about, but that's kind of like a min-maxing thing.
Sure.
And that's like a stats thing. We mulled 2 cards, so we know the bottom cards of our deck are Echo Bryn here. We're gonna if we bottom this, we'll have 19 cards in deck. So we have 2 warps out of 19.
10%. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or
it's
12 and a half. Yeah, whatever.
yeah, pretty low. But that is something to think about. um he's gonna go here, Reset Covering. This is good. Play Kali. Wait, what did he? Oh, he empowered. I was like, what did he do? Okay, let's slow this turn down because this turn is the turn we hit to win the game. So we kill our sprite. We forgot to kill our sprite. There we go. So here I'm probably just slamming the first future.
Right, without Bryn Herring, right?
Without, yeah, because we can't really afford to Bryn here, because if we Bryn here, then we can't play the second future. And if our first future whips, we kind of just lose on the spot.
How often do you find yourself playing Promising Future without the Bryn Hears? It sounds like it's more frequent than I expected.
It depends on the deck. Akali is just kind of a deck that we can get away with it. Um, I did it a few times in Hartford. One of the times I thought I lost the game on the spot. Because I had Echo in hand, and I didn't accelerate. I was playing against Annie. I didn't accelerate Echo before playing Promising Future because I was worried about Starcross. Because if he Starcross my Echo, I lose.
Mhm.
Because it was a turn where I had to win, right? And so I played Future, and then I was gonna play Echo afterwards, and then he hit he hit Purple Vex off his Future. And I thought I lost.
Oh, wow.
I thought
Okay.
I lost on the spot, but I was able to. I was able to hit like a Brand, and then my second future was able to hit a warp. I warped. My Brand was able to kill his Vex on the next turn, and I got into a sequence that I ended up winning. But
Yeah. I think I
um,
end up Bryn Hearing into Promising Future here just because that's again I'm still pretty like novice intermediate when it
sure.
comes to my understanding of this deck. So
And this is
I
kind of a
saw the
variant.
potential to do it, and I had the 12 runes, and I was like, I guess I'm going to do it. But it makes sense that I don't necessarily need to worry a lot about what Akali's going to play off the Promising Future. So I might just be able to slam
Yeah.
one without the Bryn and save some energy.
So Brand into future is typically ideal, especially if we're at 12 runes. But to do that, you have to have your Brand already stacked, or you have to have your Jhin already
Jhin
stacked.
stacked. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that allows you to get both futures off. And when you're at 12 with your Jhin stacked, it also allows you to float 4 power. So you have the double power to pay off both Promising Futures, and you have the double power to play off War. Because you're going to go down to
Mm,
10 and then back up to 12 when you start your new
right.
turn. Now we have seals here, so that's not as relevant, but um, that it having them stacked is very good, obviously. Um, so playing this Bryn here means that we have to hit War, or we're probably not in a very good spot, right? Um,
Right.
you also forgot to pay for your Bryn.
Oh yeah, he mentions that, and I have to fix it.
So let's fast forward this just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, do we hit Warp? We do not hit Warp. We hit curtain call. So I think we have to curtain call here, and we have to
Yep.
kill one of the tokens.
So I think I curtain called for 5, and I killed the Poro and the token.
So I would actually curtain call just a draw here. I would call, draw, kill the Meg token, and
Kill one of
draw.
the tokens, yeah.
Yeah, and because we can just push this in here.
Makes sense. Yep, makes sense.
Because we can like full stack here, but Green Akali on full stacking is just kind of like easy. Whereas if we put a Jhin here, he has to have flip. But if we stack Jhin, we're at 13. He goes to 8. Or he goes push pull 8. If he has flip, he can go 10, 8, 12. He can break this.
Yeah, I ended up moving the Jhin to the other battlefield with Bryn here and the first Jhin to try and reinforce it, because I know that he couldn't win if he couldn't get me off that battlefield, and then I think I saw that I might be able to win next turn. But I think your line makes a lot more sense, just, and it's a lot safer than what ended up happening here. So
Yeah, so here, he should assume, worst case this is keeper. If he knows the deck, right?
right.
Because if it's consoled, it doesn't do anything. So if he just pushes, he can push this mech here, go to 7, and then if he has flip, he can flip this mech into the Bryn here, trade here, and then he can push pull the Sakali, push it back in, go to 8, and then we just need one pump spell to beat these. And then
Okay.
if this is keeper, then we just kill the double Jhin, and then the keepers are dead, and now you have nothing, no units. So it's like really hard to win from this point.
Right, then I don't really have a win condition, right?
Yeah. So you guys here, recycle, stack, play forward. Okay. Now we should be able to make a win here. Yeah, you literally have it. We have 7 cards in hand. We just accelerate, echo, play gutter, play war,
Yep.
flip the you have it here.
So I accelerated the echo into them, and he played Emperor's Divide, which I guess is still fine because then I have 4 units on board, and then there's something happens here. I have to remember what he did.
He should have left. Wait, how do you? This looks losing, because he should be able to break here. What?
Yeah, he dropped a bunch. He didn't really have the units, I guess. I don't know what he did. He decided to pass, and then I just time warp and win the game. It's
Okay,
not exactly pretty, but
you actually win here. You don't even win on your beginning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't
Just
even
off
have to play it.
just off natural gutter.
It's off net. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Which I have never done. Which if he realizes, he should. I mean, he can break one of these boards, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He should have broken this side for sure, I think. There's no reason for him not to try to break this side.
Right, especially with his Ferris, or he can still get value out of trading and use his Akali to get pretty big. Yeah, I was surprised when this happened.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he has in his hand, so.
Sure. I think there were definitely some things that, like we pointed out, that could have gone a little bit smoother.
Right.
I don't think
Pay attention to my seals and paying for them.
Yeah.
Establishing a Jhin early, or we talked about the progress day instead of doing the energy conduit into the curtain call, because it didn't really matter whether I killed that Poro or not early,
Yeah.
because he was at odd points.
And this is going to change based on the deck that you're playing. If you're against slower decks, it's better to curtain call to alleviate the units. But it matters how many points they're at, how many points they're going to, if they have additional units in the base. Like there's some variance to this.
Sure.
Let me feed my dog real quick, and then we can jump into the second recording.
Sure.
Okay, I'll be right back. sorry about that.
Do you want to do a second recording, or do you want to do a like a live gameplay where you walk me through what's kind of going on as I'm playing against someone? I don't know how much time we have. I think we have what, like 9 minutes. So
Yeah. We can do the recording. If you
sure,
want, we can do, because I do have stuff going on after this. I can stay a little bit longer. Because I think we're gonna go over just a little bit for this recording. Um, and then if you want, we can look at some recordings, or we can do some live gameplay in the future.
excellent. That
Okay.
sounds good.
Let me import downloads, and this is the Rengar match, which is a difficult match.
Did you get the Kennen one?
Okay, I did, and the Rengar is actually missing media.
Exactly, because he left before the second game ended in his favor, so it shows incomplete even though the game finished.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So that's why it's incomplete.
Sure. Let me download this Canon one, and we can watch that one instead. Import.
This was a full best of three. We went to 3 games, so we can go through it faster, obviously, um, as fast as fast as we can, without.
Sure. So
Uh,
this is
cool.
Oh, you did. Okay, I would definitely lead Monument against Kennen. Just because Kennen is a deck that we probably want to bring the sprites in, because we can win off points. So he's playing Trifair, so he's playing Hook Kennen. Is what this
And
automatically
he could
means.
also turn one tentacles, and then I prevent him from scoring twice. Is that
Yes.
also another reason? Okay.
So this hand is really bad. Um, we do need a Bryn here against Kennen. We can't just raw slam future, but are we going? We're going first. I would put back Warp for sure, and I would debate on these two. I'd probably keep the Conduit and put back the Bryn here.
Okay.
Let's see what you do. Okay, yeah, you do the same thing. And our hand is horrible.
Yeah.
Hopefully we draw a Jawspell here. See, we hit Cynicles here. It's really good. Okay, we draw Jawspell. We're really good. Okay, we draw
No.
Curtain Call. This is decent. Unfortunately, Curtain Call does not kill Purple Cannon and base.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is this?
Yeah. Wait till you see what this deck does. It's crazy.
Is this pre wait, when was this recording? Is this pre-banlist? No, it's not. What the heck am I
Did something get banned recently?
We looked, well, there was an infinite combo with purple yellow, and they banned
Oh yes, yes, yes. So he's still doing purple yellow tokens. This is a buddy of mine.
okay.
But he's just generating a lot of tokens to play with Alawi.
Okay. I mean, luckily we have this monument, or else he would be even points here, which would be really bad for us. And does he? Okay. And this is a 8 white battlefield right now. Our hand is abysmal. Huh. Um. Yeah. What do you do?
I don't think I win this particular game,
Okay.
but it's tough.
I would
Drawing double anomaly is tough.
Yeah, I would heavily debate on crashing an Echo into these tentacles and getting these off.
Okay.
I would seriously think about it, because we can play Seal, play Echo, and this is not something the deck should have to do, but we can crash Echo, have 4 left, and then we can slam it here, and then we can like kill one of these recruits with the Curtain Call, and then he's left with 1 unit on board. The only downside of that is we really want to draw off of this Curtain Call just because of how bad our hand
Right.
is. So we could
I don't
ignore
remember
one
what
of,
I did, but
yeah, we could ignore one of these. You probably play Conduit, play Curtain Calls, whatever to guess. No, we repeat
no,
it.
I
Do the kill one and draw.
think that's what I did.
Okay. Oh, now we draw the Sprite Burst. This Sprite Burst would have been so good because we can just eat everything here. I would leave this on top. We bottomed it.
Unlucky.
Yeah, because we have Sprite Burst, which is what we want to do next turn anyway. And we need some futures to dig out. Here I'm gonna fast forward this.
I think that again is me looking at
Oh my lord.
wanting the Bryn here promising future combo, and now I'm learning that it's not necessary in order to play promising future. Because we can hit time warps, they can't.
Yeah.
We can hit things that are more potent.
So we're still in a good spot here. We can just we can actually play Conduit plus Sprite Burst. And then because we should I don't think this deck is playing like reaction stuff that we need to worry about. So we can Sprite Burst here, eat both of these, eat all of this, and then we can Sprite here, trade with the double recruits, and then we can Jhin into the Tide Turner. Alternatively, we can Jhin into this too, but either one works. Yeah, this also works. We should have played this Conduit. We had the oh, you told him.
Yeah, I was like, please. I was in voice chat with him. I was like, I forgot.
That's what I figured. And now we're actually not in a bad spot, right? We're also at 2 now, so this sets us up on like a potential like just point win versus having to win normally. He plays a Lowy. This is really good for us because now we're gonna go to 3. You gotta go to 3 and kill the Sprite, but
it'll happen, I promise.
yeah. Okay. Now we can. Wait, I was like, wait, what? Kill the Cynical. This doesn't do too much for us, but we do make a gold.
I think I wanted to proc Jhin again because I could. It's the instinct in me.
Okay, I think proccing Jhin here is fine for the record. And then now we can actually play. We can pull this Jhin back, and I would play an Anomaly, and then play a Consult here.
Yeah, and use a rune for it.
Good job. Yeah. This is good. This is really good. We don't care. We don't need to flourish this because we already. Wait, what happened to our gold? Did we use it? Wait, we didn't make it. Wait.
Uh-oh.
Wait, we flourished, right?
I used a flourish on the Alawi, I remember, but maybe I shot a tentacle and I didn't make my gold.
Yeah, you shot a tentacle, you didn't make a gold. Yeah, we should.
There we go. Okay. That's just. I often find myself, I need to make sure I don't miss things when I'm playing a complicated deck like this. So that's just something to be more aware of. Is get the full value out of my cards.
Did we consult into consult here? We did. That's funny. Okay. I just want to make sure. I was like,
yeah.
We're having our consult. We didn't play it, but we just choose the second one. Triple Echo kind of sucks, but we do have 1 seal. We can pretty reasonably kill this Alawi with the Triple Echo. Actually, maybe not, because he's about to make a bunch of dudes. I take it back.
So we would go in with 12, and he has 12, I think. But he's about to get another one because he's gonna score.
Yeah. This Jhin Echo's 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd have Jhin too.
That's a lot safe anyway. Invert. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to die.
This invert is not bad for us.
Yeah, because we have all the echoes, and it's like not a fantastic hand, right?
Yeah, like
for winning off of guttering.
Yeah, losing every echo sucks. We still have a gutter in deck. We still have warp. We can hit promising futures. Like this invert's not that bad. We have 2 banners. I really wish I could see this in full screen. Like you can right click your hand, by the way. See, we drew Bryn here plus. Oh my lord, our hand is so good now. Look,
No,
it's so
it's
good.
true. It's true.
We play Progress Day. So now we want to set up our oh, we Bryn Future. I went Bryn Future here. So what the heck? Oh, this is your trash. Um, we don't want to Bryn Future here because we can only play one more future, or we can't play any other cards, right? Whereas if we don't Bryn Future, we can just Progress Day. We can take this turn off. He's only at 4, and then
Okay.
next turn we can Brand double Future, and then we can look for a win con there.
Right, because we'll have the Jhin stacked, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then if we Bryn Future, or if we Progress Day, we draw Gutter plus Keeper. We have our win con here already in our hand, and then for a turn we would have drew this Time Warp, and then next turn all we have to do is Future into a Time Warp when we win the game on the spot.
Mm, okay.
Um,
Yep.
assuming we
Again,
don't get
that's me learning the stacking the Jhin with the Bryn here and promising future, knowing that we want to try and get to 3 banished with promising and Bryn here in hand. That's the bread and butter.
yeah. We progress did into Warp. We're at 5. This game is still very winnable. We still have access to double warp. There's still a warp in our deck. We have a warp in hand. We have a future. So all we have to do is take a point and then double warp. Like, this game is still winnable.
Mm-hmm.
I would take this point if possible, because then it sets us up to where all we need to do is take one battlefield. Death grip. So now this is a 4. I would just correct call this. Oh, this works too. Sure, nuke it, and then we can push Bryn here. Oh, I would have pushed this Bryn here.
Okay. Yeah. I see that now.
Yeah, the only downside about pushing the Bryn here is he can just push push a Lowy here, and then push all these 4 tokens here. But then we eat 3 of the tokens. Yeah, and then it allows us to win off of just 1 warp instead of needing double warp. More than likely we're ignoring this. He's gonna goggles. Okay, now this game just got infinitely harder.
I needed to kill it, and I didn't.
Well, he could have just goggled one of these, right?
Sure, one in the back, and then he'd swing in. Yeah.
Yeah. So what can we do here? He's fully tapped out. What can we do? If the unit dies, does this becomes normal, or I need to read goggles.
So it copies the text of Alawi in full. So if I kill some of the tokens, the Alawi's might will go down.
What if you kill the Alawi?
It stays as an Alawi. It's a full copy of the card now. Nice. Yeah.
So what we can do here,
I think what I ended up doing was -4 on the Alawi, and then I went in with some combination of Jhin and Bryn here to clear that battlefield.
Okay, I would -4. -4. Wait, this was 11. So okay, -4 shooter recruit. Now it's at 5. Yeah, and then Jhin plus Bryn can clear this with no problem. We actually can just win the game because we can warp on this turn. Oh, okay. Well, that loses the game.
That stops it. Yeah. There we go. I see it now.
Yeah. So if all we had to do here is kill this battlefield, play a warp because we have an anomaly, and then we just promise a future into the warp next turn.
Yep.
Because we only had 9 cards in deck. We're gonna draw 1 card. Wait, 2 vanish. We're gonna draw 1 card, so we're gonna have 8, and then we just future. And if we hit warp, we win. If we don't, we can play the seal 2, If we don't hit warp, we have 3 cards left.
All right, 5
And
out of 9 we see a warp, right? So
yeah, and even
um,
if we don't see it, we pay 5. We have 7 left plus triple seal plus conduit, so we essentially have 11, and then we can anomaly 19 worth. So
mm.
so
See, a
this
lot more lines are opening up in front of me now because I'm witnessing that you don't have to play Promising Future with Bryn here exclusively. You know, you can do it on its own and then hit your warps and win the game through that. You know, it's not just the Bryn here Promising Future combo. The card can be played by itself.
Yeah. Now, what you do have to worry about is what they can hit off of future, right? So
Right,
if they hit like Cold the Week, your Jhin dies, and then we don't win off the warp, right?
right.
So that's some stuff to think about, but I assume we lost this game because there's no way to win the game from here, right? We can like kill this
Yeah,
Alawi.
I lost this one.
Yeah. Wait, can he? Oh, never mind. If he has a second goggles, can he goggles the Alawi from this recruit?
Yes,
Oh,
that recruit is now an Alawi for all intents and purposes.
that's funny. Okay.
It's a silly deck.
Yeah. So let's see. What did we put in? We put in sprite bursts. I think sprite bursts are good. We took out the conduits. I think this is fine. I would never
Do, do,
I would never cut these cards.
no.
Consultant downstage, never leave the deck.
So what if we're looking at the sideboard quickly? If we can go back a little bit, when you're going first, do you often take out your energy conduits?
Yeah, that was a common cut for me when I went first. I wouldn't cut down to or I would normally typically leave at least one conduit in the deck.
Okay.
But I think cutting all of them is pretty reasonable. Um, I Rocket Barrage is okay. What I would really like to see is I think Brittle's probably slightly better.
Okay.
We don't get the Jhin trigger on the first one. We actually don't get it on the second one either. But we do get we do get 2 kills on a gear. Um, especially in this deck, I assume it's playing multiple goggles, so we have access to killing both goggles.
Right.
I probably wouldn't board Singularity. Um, I think his Alawi is just gonna be too big for it, and then the tokens are gonna be he's gonna have too many tokens for the Singularity to matter, and Singularity is double power. Um, I would probably just bring in unchecked. Watcher doesn't help too much because it doesn't like he's already played his Trifarian game, and now the tokens like this doesn't touch the token, so this is only touching Alawi.
The tokens are already going to be at 1. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you generally never touch your draw spells.
I never touch the draw spells.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
You can touch like Progress and Clairvoyance, but the 4 mana spells you don't. Like cutting Flourish is already like kind of feels bad, but cutting the
Right.
other draw spells is just really bad.
All right. Cool.
So this hand is also abysmal. I would put the Singularity and the Bryn here back and keep these. This is also reasonable if you put this back. Look, that's exactly what I would do. Does he have Terminal Tentacles again? Nope.
Now we talked about like consult and downstage dramatics and playing downstage first,
Okay.
generally speaking. Is that also the case for if like you're going first and you have 4 runes and you would want to play Deadly Flourish over Curtain Call, right? Because Curtain Call is more flexible. It has
Yeah.
more, modes to it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I always prioritize Flourish over Curtain Call. If like say we had both of them right here, I would Flourish this.
Okay.
Curtain Call is more flexible, and Flourish, you want to get the gold online because if we did like if we had Flourish here, we can Flourish this to get a gold online, and then our next turn can play Progress State because we don't have to deramp to do it.
Right, exactly. Okay.
We just have down switch here, which is perfect turn 1. Now we draw Seal. He pushes this, makes it gold. Let's see what we do here. Cannon. Improved. He milled goggles. Okay. So here.
What I should probably seal progress day.
Normally still progress day feels bad because we want to double spell next turn. But we don't really have anything.
I don't have many 4 costs, right?
Yeah, we don't have any 4 costs that we can double spell next turn. So typically on these turns, what we might do is just forego the first Jhin activation and just set it up to where we can, instead of playing for a Jhin, when we would get back up to the point where we're at 4 on Jhin, we would just not use it because Jhin Legend is optional.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so we would just skip it and then it would just stay set up for the turn that we need it. We also have double warp in hand, which like changes our win con a little bit. So what we can do actually is play the sprite burst, take both battlefields, kill this, play our Jhin, and say go. We're gonna deramp 2 because of sigil plus seal, but we're gonna go to 2, and then later on in the game, all we have to do is find a way to take both points, and then we can just double time warp to go to 10. Or to go to 8, sorry.
Okay, makes sense.
So whenever you see double warp in hand plus a sprite burst, that already checks some conditions to be able to win the game off points. And then we play this Jhin, which threatens the cannon next turn. I think he has like stack deck. He has stack deck +1 random and his trash whatever he milled off a cannon. So his cannon's only gonna replay stack deck, and then we also have Comet to just kill the cannon next turn as well.
So you'd sprite burst and then time warp, and obviously the sprites conquer, let's say both. Then you go to your next turn, and what you would have had to drop your Jhin on one of the battlefields in order to like maintain point tempo, or maybe you have something in base.
I'm not saying you time warp here. I'm saying we sprite burst now, go to 2, and then now we're at 2 for the rest of the game. So if we're ever able to double conquer later, we have double warp.
I see.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
because we double conquer to 4 and then double warp to 8.
Okay.
You play progress 8. We need to play this seal.
Should have sealed again. Yep. There we go.
Oh, we didn't play seal. I would also play Jhin here. We deramp
off
again.
the seal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we would have to deramp anyway because this seal would have paid for the progress day. We do have to deramp, but being on odd number doesn't really do anything. And if we play this Jhin, now we can threaten this cannon next turn.
Okay. So this is another example of having the Jhin established early to threaten, like a 4 cost or something that you would want to die that has a lot of value. You know, like the Akali before or this Kennen now.
Going back on this, the boarding process also, I might have played Red Vi because he's playing Inver, and we can put back like time warps after they go to the train.
Yep.
So seal, which we should have had. We couldn't call here. This is great. This is so fine. This game does unfortunately look pretty losing at the moment. Well, he's gonna go to 5. Zero invert, yeah. This invert looks really rough. It looks even rougher here. So if we did sprite burst earlier, we would have been at 2. If we played a Jhin, we could have been at like 3. We could sprite burst here, and then maybe like play an echo, and then we could look for like a winning line later. We also wouldn't have maybe played that progress day, so like our hand would have been slightly different.
True. So here I would double conquer here. Okay. It doesn't matter whether he's going in and could conquer both back.
Yeah. He conquers.
That's not an issue.
Yeah, we just play Jhin, play Echo, and then say go. And then now now we can kill his double conquer, and then we have curtain call. So we're not really scared of too much. His cannon can also re-rip this in invert, but I don't think he should rip invert with us only having 3 cards in hand. Um, I tentacle. These sprites are playing defense, so he technically can break them, but it's not really worth it to break them. Oh no, he can break it really easily. Maybe not easily, but he can break it. I push, yeah, empower it, yeah. Ooh. I actually think this was slight mistake. Oh no, this is fine actually. And Conquer's on the cannon. No Conquer cannon here is extremely weird. I know he can
Okay.
I know he can break it, but like not going to 6 is kind of strange, I feel. Maybe he wants to save it for an invert next turn. Yep, draw a future. Okay, so these futures are essentially dead now. We have no warp, and we still have echoes. Our echoes got pitched game 1. I would probably play these sprite bursts and just score. See, if we had the other sprite bursts by this, like we'd be at 3, we'd go to 5 on this
Right.
turn, and then next turn we can just push and warp and win the game, right?
Right, and that's thinking less about the Gutter Palace win con and more about because I think I do the same thing again. Or let's see what I do. Okay, I do that.
It's a good thing we killed these here. Goggles. He can goggle cook cannon, which is like pretty okay. I'm surprised he doesn't want to make tokens on these.
Mhm.
So he's got 3 cards in hand. We just Slam Watcher. Was this flash? Yeah, flash. And then I would have.
Probably better to conquer with Jhin, right? That way I'm not gonna lose my echo.
Yeah, I would have probably just swapped these. You unfortunately have to put both on point because we're gonna die if
Yeah.
we don't. What you also could have done is go to 4. We can just full stack here. Stay at 4, hold to 5, and then depending on what he does here, we can pull some number back. Time warp and then conquer this to 8. Because he can just kill us this turn. So we're empowered, so any unit walks here, and then he just has to figure out a way to break this. Which probably isn't that easy, honestly. For his deck,
Right.
because he doesn't have a Lowry. Now if he has a Lowry Ratherman, we're just dead, but I actually haven't seen him play Ratherman.
I think I was telling him in the game that he should probably have Ride the Wind in the deck. I don't know if he does or not, but
Yeah. Oh, he can also allow a Death Grip. That gets there too. Does this Azir get there? Make 3 guys. Push. No, because when we make the guys, we die. Push. Make guys. Trade. Tap 2 guys. Push. Empower. And then equip. Re-equip. Oh, we have limited yellow runes. This is gonna break this. I think he should have equipped one more. Because now we have a token here. And then now we can have 8, 11, 8. 11, 9, 11. Yeah, if he had one more yellow rune, he could actually want one here. And see, now we can just pull this Watcher back, play Warp, and then push push the Watcher.
Yeah, I think that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he could have won here, but oh, we did bring the buy-in. Okay. And then now we're going second, so I would put these conduits back in.
Mm-hmm.
I would cut Singularity, Comet for double conduit, and then I'd probably just went and play this Watcher. I don't think it's very good here, and I'd put the Console back
Right.
in.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would probably play double conduit instead of triple. So we do cut the Singularity, we cut the Anomaly, and we cut a Sprite Burst. I went and cut Sprite Burst going second. Okay.
Yeah.
Gutter for sure. I like Promising Future. He is playing Invert though, so I would probably mull Gutter Future. What I haven't
do you ever keep Gutter in your opening hand?
against the aggro decks, I do.
The aggro decks, okay.
Yeah, the decks you have to win faster. I'll keep Gutter. Also, I haven't seen a salvage from him, so I might think about keeping the Gutter and just slamming Gutter.
Okay.
I don't really like playing this turn one. It's fine. It's fine to establish, but now we can't play Jhin next turn. I think playing Jhin next turn is a little bit more valuable.
Makes sense.
I would not. Ooh, okay, I probably wouldn't kill this either.
You just draw.
Oh, never mind. We had Paper Tree. I forgot about this. I don't play this card, so. So now we just draw here. Ooh, that feels bad. We can recycle a rune to play this.
You go down a rune here, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. How many are we at? We're at 2 in banish. Yeah, I think it's fine. If he's playing, what is this? He's got double.
Oh, he's going
Allawi.
crazy
Oh
mode. I know.
God.
He already has double Allawi, man. This third game was rough. Spectacles is a silly card.
Push, equip and push. What are we thinking about? Okay, we are gonna get a paper tree trigger here. He's at 4, so we have 2 more turns. We can progress stay on this turn. Ooh, this doesn't do anything, unfortunately. I would conduit into progress stay. Probably play Jhin. We have to win the following turn is the problem. We should have played this conduit.
Conduit first, yeah.
Yeah. And if we conduit, if we conduit first, then we actually have to be able to play double conduit on this turn.
Yeah, I think he takes this one pretty quickly, unfortunately. We'll see if he...
Yeah.
Remember.
Oh my lord.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we just triple conduit. You see what I mean here, though? Like, Watcher doesn't really do anything here.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's like a -3 on these guys. It is a big body that we can accelerate, but outside of that, it's not too impactful. So here we're at 3 banish. We're probably just dead.
Yeah.
Now, what could we have done? We could... I think pretty recently we're dead in the water to this. I do want to back... Like, there's no real sequencing that we could hit here. I do want to back up this game though.
Yeah, sure.
So if this barrage, I said instead of this barrage to play consult. So this would have been a consult. We could have drawn a little bit more.
Right, would have had an extra rune.
Yeah. Either consult or brittle is what this barrage would be for me, I think. So instead of barraging here, we just draw, and then we would have like 2 more cards here, and then we could draw again off a consult. And then we'd have actually had this conduit at this point in the game, so we could establish the conduit here. So we'd have conduit already established. He would have no more points than he's already at, probably. Maybe we'd be +1, which doesn't matter because he's already on odds. On the flip side, if it was brittle, now we have a way in trash to kill this goggles. I'm gonna fast forward this since we've already seen it.
Yeah, no worries.
So and then if we consulted, then we'd have +2 here. Actually, instead of consulting, we'd be able to play this progress day because we would have had this conduit on in play already. So
That's right.
we would still be able to say high, like +1. And then we would have drawn Sprite Burst here. We would actually have 4 more cards. Which would have been very... Oh, no, we draw them here. Which would have been these. If we played Jhin the turn before, we could, like, Comet plus Jhin to take this out. We could establish a few conduits on... We could take a setup turn on this turn. We're at 3 banish. We would have 3 banish, or no, we would have 2 banish right now. So we could play conduit, and then we would have access to 3 conduit, seal, and maybe we don't get the double conduit. We could conduit once, and then go down, play seal, and then play, like... We need to play a spell here, but, like, none of these spells are really what we want to be doing.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. But we do need to play a spell to stack the Jhin, because we're only at 2. Oh no, we're at 3. We don't need to play a spell. So we would just conduit. That puts us to essentially 11 next turn. We can play the seal on this turn. But we don't really have anything to do with the seal. Conduit, the seal. We can conduit, seal, and then play gutter. That doesn't place a spell, but next turn that allows us to... We're gonna go down to 6, up to 8, 10, 11, and then we have anomaly. We also have a Jhin trigger happening. So next turn we can brand plus double future, and then see where that gets us. This is really rough, honestly. But I think
Yeah.
I think there's, like, circumstances where we could have won.
Sure.
Especially if, like, we future and then we can hit, like, an unchecked and we unchecked here. Like, that's really good for us. And then depending on what, like, he plays Kennen next turn, we have Jhin established, we have Sprite Burst, and then we can hold up Comet for the Kennen whenever he pushes Kennen. So, you know, if he doesn't have the invert, we're like in a decent spot.
Okay, cool.
But that I just wanted to see, like, where, like...
Yeah, totally.
Like, where this could have been different, right? But
so I want to. I know that you don't have much time left. I just want to quickly review some of the, like, more ubiquitous points that you've made. So you talked about we talked about promising future and how it's not necessarily the case that you have to have Bryn here in order to play it, right? We
Mhm.
talked about keeping track of my opponent's points, and if they're at an odd number, that's better for us than if they're at an even number. And
Mhm.
most decks we're playing against are probably going to go 2, 4, 6, 8. You talked about winning through points, especially if we have like double time warp in hand. That's and sprite burst. That's kind of a signal that um, we can potentially win through points rather than through gutter. And then most importantly, the setting up the Jhin legend with 3 banishes, so that we can Bryn into double promise the following turn.
Yeah,
Um,
I think setting up Jhin is probably like a excuse me, one of the number one takeaways that people need to know. Um, because typically on the turn that you're winning the game, you do need to have your Jhin set up, whether it be through brand double future. That's the most common one, but there's also like other lines that you have to take, and being able to, get 4 extra runes in a turn, or if you already have an echo set up, you can get 8 extra runes. It's very very strong. Um, I would also note I probably wouldn't play Paper Tree. Um,
okay,
I I think the battlefield that is going to replace Aspirants is probably going to be Frozen Fortress.
Frozen
Now,
Fortress. Okay.
obviously, Frozen Fortress would have been really good against this Alawi deck, but
Yeah,
um,
no kidding.
but regardless, I think Frozen Fortress is just a little bit better. It makes all of our burn spells kill 4s. It makes like Flourish kill 4. It makes Curtain Call kill 3s by default. It makes it kill 5 with the neg 4. It makes it kill a 7 with the neg 4 plus shoot for 2.
And it
Um,
naturally deals with the token decks like Victor or this Alawi nonsense.
yeah,
Um,
something you do have to worry about is it gives the Bryn here breach decks. It does give them a window, so you do have to kind of watch out for that.
oh,
But
yep.
but on the flip side, we could technically board breaches, and we could do that. Because we already play the Bryn here, so on the games that you're going to be on the Frozen Fortress, we can just board like triple breach, and then we can flicker our own Bryn here to skip their
Oh,
turn.
interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so it does give us a lot of windows. Something else I had thought about playing was Rockfall Path, and playing the breaches because we already play the Bryn here, so it doubles as a removal spell on the Rockfall game. But the thing about Rockfall is we can't win on the Rockfall because we can't play Keeper, we can't
We
breach,
can't play units on top of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that idea quickly got scrapped. Um, but it's important to think about some battlefields you can play that have multiple uses to them, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I considered Breach as well,
Mhm.
and having it, I would assume it would be a sideboard card, right, for when you're on Force and Froze, just specifically.
Yeah, I would sideboard it for specifically that game. Especially like, let me get like we talked about the board. Let me get to the first point you board. That way we can get back to a neutral board, no changes. Um,
I don't know if you want to include a deck list in here as well for people who are probably looking for one.
so this is the deck list
Um,
here, unchanged.
oh, great. Okay.
This is yeah, this is 1 second too fast. Okay, so this is the deck list unchanged. Um, like I think Barrage is okay. It's an okay card. It's just weird because it costs a power. I wouldn't play the Singularity. Um, and then I would have 3 Falling Comets in between the board and the main. Um,
Okay.
I think it's just too good versus Purple Vex, and Purple Vex is like a really hard card for us to deal with. And then if you want, you can play 2 to 3 Breach for when you do play the Frozen Fortress game. You have that combo. Because in reality, that combo is going to be good enough to win a lot of the games on its own, right? If you pull it
True.
off. Um, and then absolute worst case, you can breach like, um, you can breach and Echo's not gonna breach. I guess really it's just Bryn here. Jhin, if you want to get another scry.
Yeah,
Um,
if you need it, I suppose.
yeah, you can breach also to dodge removal spells, but that's probably not
Hmm.
the best thing in the world. Um, You could breach a Watcher, but I probably just wouldn't play the Watcher.
Right.
It was very underwhelming in my run at Hartford. And we just have a a couple better options right now.
So
Um,
between the main board and the side, you were talking about 3 sprite bursts in some capacity. You were talking about 3 falling comets in some capacity.
mhm.
And then would you also want to see 3 energy conduits in some capacity, or do you think 2 is okay?
I think two is okay. I think if you want to play three in the main, that's fine. Depending. I think the board right now, if I was to move forward, I would probably be on some number of sprite bursts in the main. Whether it be one or more, probably one.
Hmm.
And then my board would be the other two sprite bursts, 3 comets, 1 Vi, 2 2 3 breach, and then either like 2 unchecked or like an unchecked plus either barrage or brittle. Um,
Great.
I would contemplate playing two gear removals depending on what the format looks like. And what's nice about brittle is it's insulated to like mind splitter, right? Because they mind splitter and then you can just flash it back. So
Exactly.
um, but yeah,
Great.
did you have any questions or anything you wanted to go over before we wrap up?
No, this has been insanely helpful. I think when playing this deck, you can get so fixated on the one way that you know how to combo that you
Mm-hmm.
can forget that there are several other ways that this deck comes together that can win the game. And
Yeah.
I've been very fixated on the Bryn here promising future combo,
Mm-hmm.
and it appears that through your guidance there are a lot of other ways that this deck can function and do well. So I really appreciate your help with that, and now having an updated list that'll be more um, relevant for Vendetta. I can handle what's out there a little bit better.
For sure. And then I think we briefly spoke about this earlier maybe. This deck is a lot different than your other decks. If we talk about Lux for example, the Lux combo deck, you know, it has very chronological steps that it follows, right? Like step 1 is draw your deck, then you do the echo loop, and
Yeah, then you do your combo and you win.
then you do your combo and you win, right? This deck, while the goal of the deck is to like gutter keeper warp, right? How you get to that line is very different. There's no clear step. Like your clear step 1 is like proc gen, right?
Right.
But there's some games where you skip your first gen proc. There's some games where you proc gen like 2 or 3 times before you win the game. This deck is very much on a different axis than all the other combo decks, as there's no clear steps, right? You have your hands and you have to make the most of your hand. Um, and a lot of games are winnable because of that. You can kind of build a barrier combo from different points and different hands. Um, Now, don't get me wrong, you can still brick. Every deck can brick, right? But
Sure.
the deck is very difficult because of that. And the more reps you get on the deck, the more you're going to be able to see these lines, and you're going to be able to gauge, is killing this unit worth it, or is like in the one of the games we went over, is he just going to go to odd points anyway? It doesn't really matter, and it would be better for me to like progress my game state rather than trying to hinder his.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely keep playing it. I think the deck is still in a decent spot for Vendetta. Um, Obviously it's a combo deck, so you can always just win out of nowhere.
Oh
This
yeah, it's a lot of, and when you do, there's a lot of dopamine involved, which I'm enjoying a lot. It's a
Mhm.
fun deck.
And
So
honestly, a lot of your losses you can pinpoint to your own fault. Now sometimes you get like triple defy, triple sabotage, right? Then there's like
right.
nothing you can do about those games. Um, but a lot of the games you can look back and pinpoint specifically, either maybe not specifically in this deck because it's not like other decks where it's like, oh, I took a bad combat and I got blown out by like punch first or something, right? Um, because a lot of games can boil down to a certain turn, but this deck typically it's going to be a multitude of actions that you could have probably played better. And like just going over that last game, we were like, oh, okay, if this rocket barrage was a consult, like I mentioned about in boarding, then we would have been able to do X, Y, and Z differently, and then it just cascades. It's like a domino effect, right? Um,
Hmm.
but
Well,
definitely
yeah,
keep.
it sounds like it has a very high skill cap, and it's rewarding because of that. As you get better with it, you'll do better, and you'll see more lines.
Mhm.
And uh, the deck will reward you for the time that you put into it.
For sure. Um, but definitely keep playing it. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to just DM me. My DMs are always open. Um, and then if you do want to make a future session, feel free to. If you could leave a review, that would be great. That's the only thing I
On
do.
Metafy, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's the only thing I do ask of people. It's free to leave a review, and it helps me out a lot. Um, moving forward,
Yes,
I
it was
would
very helpful. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you. Moving forward, if you did want to do another session, just reach out, and then I would say for the next one, we can look into some live gameplays, to go over. Maybe have it. Maybe do like one recording and one live gameplay just to see where we're at,
Hmm.
and then we can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to play the deck a little bit with your insights, and then I'll probably do that sooner rather than later because I want to try and build up my knowledge of the deck quickly.
Sure.
It might even be if your coaching opportunities are open, it might even be next week.
Sure.
So
And
um,
if you do want a time that's not on there, just reach out. Let me know. I have a
great.
pretty conservative time schedule right now. Just because like I obviously still have my locals that I go to and my events on the weekends.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But if you really want like a Saturday, for example, just reach out and I'm sure I can work something out with you.
Yeah, and of course, whatever recordings or content you make through me, I'm more than happy to let you. I give you permission to do whatever you want with it.
Sure.
I think that's great, and the more stuff that's out there, the better it'll help those that are excited to play something like this. So this was wonderful. I'll definitely leave a review as soon as we close the call here, and I'll probably see you next week.
Sure. Awesome. I'll probably go ahead and upload this. I think a lot of people were asking for more content, and this is a little bit different of a style content, and I think it might help people. Especially like some of the players might have similar gameplay patterns that you have, and
Oh, I bet they do. Yeah.
yeah. So and stuff like tunnel visioning on the like Brain here under double feature, or like always featuring under Brain here, right? Like that's probably a very common mistake. Um, but definitely get some recordings and we can do gameplay next week. I want like after you realize that, and then we can go over. We can just keep evolving the gameplay.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Yep. Thank
Cass. I
you.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You have a
All right,
good
I'll
night.
be in touch.
Sure.
Yeah, you too. Bye.